Hello friends, my name's Lunernight and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Last we left off, people died. Let's go. Alright, so, let's see, Kawaii, Aura, I still think if I get it even, then, it'll be pretty simple. Sparkle, frightening, joy, oh god, play, starscape, clumsy, peaceful, vanilla, puppy, entropy, charm, pleasure, laugh, passion, oh god, vertigo, agonizing, melancholy, oh god, what was that face? Hi again, Lunernight. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What? Thanks for keeping your promise, Lunernight. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh god. Oh, come on. Like, he deserves any slack. What is happening? You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you just planned to come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki certainly has a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. Monica, you're kind of in front of the... Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Lunernight. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Well, wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you really don't want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try and be a part of this club. So even if I don't read too often, I'd be happy to pick up a book for you if you want. Pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all. The whole thing is sideways, I just realized. That I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked up a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, but should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book I think she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Oh god. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off the scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad from distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, and that's not what I meant. I mean, it just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Well, once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is the portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. That is not what this was about last time. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... This book was about a girl last time, I thought. Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kinda dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Lunernight? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kind of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a new perspective. I'm sorry, I have a cold. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Yuri, are you okay? And suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. What the fuck? I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, your whole body what? I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. Please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. It seems like your text box seems to be overlapping by glitching texture, so don't worry, I don't know what you're saying anyways. It just means you're passionate about reading. The least I could do is listen. And it is a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Ah! What the shit? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Well, let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to, it's just something I'm not very used to. It's reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. What is going on? I open the book and start the prologue. Soon understand what Yuri meant about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in the blood of what? Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, alright? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean into each other a bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess this makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. I'm terrified of where this is going. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. I'm terrified of this. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to the side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. This is terrifying. I'm so scared of what's going to happen. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. Glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. This is way too cuddly. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. You continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assumed that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels almost like an intimate exchange, my thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Eh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking about the way she second-guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little bit fidgety since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Lunernight? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So, you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe in you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other, Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd just start without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off of the book and slip it into my bag. Monica. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I wanted her to know I'm putting in effort. And I really like Monica, even if she seems to be the antagonist of this game. Hi, Lunernight. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, have you had any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better? I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Lunernight. We're all a little bit embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that makes us all learn to get past soon. What? Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Lunernight. I was going to go... What the hell? Where did that come from? Oh shit. I was going in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something this deep. I'm guessing I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it counts when I put in some effort. And that's not very fair. I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? That writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. I'm 100% sure I evened it between the two. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is totally detached from reality. I don't mean like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being so late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm glad you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I like to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on a flat sheet of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing trick on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what did you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. I see what you're talking about. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So, just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Alright, so I guess Natsuki. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. It's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your taste? Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set it for rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it meant to be a pro. Means. I'm just glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Yuri time. Hello, Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I just say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly and looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might just take you time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, me, or Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils in my hair illuminate beneath amber glows, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air in the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Lunernight. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort and able to let go of the past, and so soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Lunernight. Me too. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little bit more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Yuri dismissively returned the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you just completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Lunernight did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come up with something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Lunernight liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I meant. You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Lunernight appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ugh. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Lunernight started showing up. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! Taking out your insecurities on others like that? You really act as you look, Natsuki. Whoa. What is happening? Me? Look who's talking, you edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry, my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? What the hell is happening? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves as they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Lunernight hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns toward me as she just noticed I was standing here. Lunernight? She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. I don't know who to pick. What is happening? Hey Monica, what's up? 3, 2, 1. Hello friends, my name's Lunernight and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Last we left off, people died. Let's go. Alright, so let's see. Kawaii, Aura. I still think if I get it even, then it'll be pretty simple. Sparkle, frightening, joy, oh god, play, starscape, clumsy, peaceful, vanilla, puppy, entropy, charm, pleasure, laugh, passion, oh god, vertigo, agonizing, melancholy, oh god, what was that face? Hi again, Lunernight. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What? Thanks for keeping your promise, Lunernight. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh god. Oh, come on. Like, he deserves any slack. What is happening? You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you just planned to come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki certainly has a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. Monica, you're kind of in front of the... Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Lunernight. Just make sure to put your comfort first.